How do you guys go about selecting the right? I mean, I've over 4 years or so, I've gone through only two different companies. The first one I used about 20 times plus, and I found them to be fine. And then one day I realized is that they were pretty much too friendly with one of the factories, and that was a red flag, even to the point they had a chat amongst themselves and went home for the day without contacting me, like, because there's certain things that couldn't be done. I won't go into detail, and I'm like, but how can you make decisions on my behalf? It's like you both and agreed something between yourselves but didn't even think to reach out for me. So I cut that off dead. I switched to a new guy, and basically he's an American base, but his whole team is Chinese. So I speak to him on US time. And the good thing is as well, I've always said to him, look, if it's going to fail, don't make me wait until they get home to write the report. I'm still going to pay for the inspection. Tell me now. I want you to pick up the phone. I don't want them wasting a whole day there to then come back. I don't know, Steve, how quick you get your reports back, but by the time, it depends on where they're coming from. If they've got to travel from one city to another, they get back, they import all the images and write it up to tell you that it's failed. To me, that's a waste of a day and a half. What's your take on it?
Well, so I have a full-time China team that does most of our kind of high production inspections, and we use third-party QC companies like you and Kian talked about, where we need to fill in the blanks. By the way, for US, Canada, most industrialized nations, Portugal, we're not going to typically inspect those pre-shipment. A, we're paying on terms, and B, their production standards are usually sufficient. So I want to just qualify that, saying industrialized versus developing countries, a little bit of a difference there. But in terms of, the inspections, we have basically a go, no go, right? And if the inspector's like, it's a go, I don't want to know anything until the report. And frankly, I don't even read the reports. They go into Dropbox, and every shipment is, documented, so that there's a beautiful audit trail to come back if there's a problem.
Yeah.
The problem is where it's like, this is off spec, and the inspector can't make the call on it. Maybe the shade is a little different. Yeah. On some of our products, we actually measure the gloss level. We have a little gloss meter, and we say it can be 8 to 12% gloss level. And if it's 20% gloss level, they don't know what to do. We have to either give a one-off authorization to ship it and tell them to get better, or we have to reject the shipment. And so we try to have that be as fast as possible in terms of that feedback loop, so that we keep on time for the shipments that are able to go, and that they are able to mitigate any of the damages. We routinely have to either slow up or reject shipments. I say routinely, but we had, in one case, we rejected 27 containers at one time. It was a nightmare. Recently, we had to reject 2 containers, but they were for store openings in the United States for a big retail cell phone chain. And the factory had to actually reproduce it and send via air the container. It's $50,000 per container, and the cost of the container was only about 23 grand. But that was the deal. That was the contract. So they actually lost money on that order. The point is, the more you can understand the go, no go qualifiers, and then quickly resolve the middle bits, the better off you'll be.